Hi everyone, I'm Nono, and today's video is going to be a little different from what we usually do. So, a friend of mine came and asked me how to discriminate between, very similar words, but different meanings, if you go in more detail. So, basically, synonyms. So, they don't really know, they're not really sure about how to know the difference between these. And I thought it'd be a long explanation if I just explained to them with my text message. So I decided to film this video right here, right now, so that I could share whatever I know and my lessons that I learned from my great teacher. So to my teacher, thank you so much for teaching me a lot of amazing lessons. I learned a lot from you. And yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so now let's take a look at what's going to happen next. Okay, so let's look at similar yet different words. So what this means is words that have similar meanings but different forms. So basically, that means synonyms. Okay, now on this slide, you will see the main three synonyms that we're going to be talking about. So they are all going to be based on the same theme, which is going to be the general meaning that they all represent, which is death. For the first one, a lethal dose. Fatal, a fatal accident. And finally, mortal. All humans are mortal. Now, at first sight, it is going to seem a little confusing, but it's okay because we're going to simplify that as far as we can, as much as we can. Okay, so these are the examples of each of the words, aka the uses of the synonyms. Okay, the simplification of lethal, a lethal dose. So I have actually written a lot of notes here, a lot of things here. So if you feel like it, feel free to pause the video right here and take your time reading it because it's very important to comprehend. Okay, so in lethal, we have something, an agent or a thing that actually causes death, which means a dose, in this case, a dose that is proven in experiments to actually cause death. In this case, the dose of the chemical is the thing or the agent, like I have said, that is sufficient enough or powerful enough to take away a person's or an animal's life. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, a situation which is tragic or catastrophic. It doesn't really mean like that. So this is a main point, meaning lethal has the power to actually cause death. This is the sentence, this is the note that sets it apart from the other two. Okay, so we have to bear that in mind. I hope it makes sense. Now let's take a look at another one. Okay, so fatal, a fatal accident. All right. So in fatal, unlike lethal, it doesn't cause death necessarily. It's just a tragic event, like I have mentioned earlier. So that is the difference here between lethal and fatal, which I believe are the most difficult words to distinguish for the person that asked me. Okay, so anyway, these are the notes that I have written again so that it might be easier for you to comprehend. Okay, so the fatal accident in this example, it may or may not have the power to cause a death, but it's still a tragic end or a catastrophic event. It's a situation, it's not a thing, well, let's just call it an event. So it takes place. The end result is pretty traumatizing and tragic. Animals or humans, they can be described as fatal, being in a fatal accident or something like that. Okay, so let's take a look at the notes. It doesn't have the power to cause death, unlike lethal. So that means may or may not cause death. It refers to certain circumstances or events. So this is a main point, like I have mentioned. In this example, the accident may or may not kill those involved. So there will be survivors, there will be, you know, results that are not as bad as we expected or something like that. So that is fatal. Okay, now the simplification of mortal. So we have many meanings, not very many, but we can use it for more than just death and the cause of death. So when we say mortal as an adjective, there are also other ways of using it as a form of stating or illustrating your extreme boredom or the tediousness of an experience or situation. But we don't need to go over that. We're not going to focus on that because we don't want to deviate from the main matter, the main theme. Okay, so mortality as a noun, however, means that all humans, which means no animals, will pass away one day. That is the truth. That is the fact. So that's what it means. And mortal, when you use it as an adjective um, in front of other nouns, well, it kind of means the same as fatal. So the only difference here is the victim. The victim here is only going to be humans. Unlike fatal, it can also cause the animals to die. So that is also one of the key differences between these words. And also in the example right here, you will see mortality rates. So mortality rates is used for humans, people. So for example, in a group, in a region, let's say, the number of people of a certain group in a certain region who die within a certain amount of time. So when you collect data, you have mortality rates. So that is only based on humans, not actually animals. Okay, so that is the end of the presentation and the explanation of what I know from my personal experience as well as what my teacher has explained to me. So I really hope that you can find this video helpful for you. So yeah, that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that you found something helpful or useful for you to know the difference between such synonyms.